Okay, my friends, we're talking something very near and dear to me. It is Wrexham today. We're going for the month in numbers for September. By the way, if you're new here, welcome to Hacking Self Storage. It's a great daily podcast. It's amazing. And don't forget to sign up to my newsletter, mrselfstorage.com. It's where all the cool kids in self storage hang out. Again, Monday to Friday, I send you an email with all groovy stuff on there. And it's completely free, by the way, as well. Okay, so Wrexham, very near and dear to my heart because it was my first acquisition. I am trying to do more acquisitions in 2025. It's a two-pronged approach. We're going to start container sites, three-pronged approach, I suppose. Container sites, acquisitions, and maybe some other self-storage indoor as well. But depends on cash flow if that will be allowed, because opening the container site doesn't take as much cash flow. So that is good. Okay, so Wrexham, I bought it 2 years ago in February, and it's been a whirlwind. Honestly, when you have an acquisition, you think that it's a piece of cake, it'll be all right. And more often than not, from what I've heard in the mastermind I'm in, you always find skeletons. And Wrexham was no different whatsoever. There were skeletons that we had to get past and problems and issues. But you know what? We've got a wonderful team, awesome team that looked after it. And fast forward, 18, 19 months, we are now we've increased revenue by 3 times. There's a training I'm doing today. I said today when I'm recording this to put in the course, all about the acquisition, what we did. We've trebled revenue. Don't get me wrong, we've invested, we've got capital expenses as well, but trebling revenue is fantastic because then we've also not only that, we've 14 times profit, and we're going to get up to just past 20 times profit, which is marvelous. And guess what? It might be for sale at the end of that because Wrexham is a hell of a far way away. And so in a year and a bit, it might be for sale. It'll be a site making 200 grand and we might sell it to reinvest in self-storage because do you know what? People said about clusters. I'm not actually 100% certain if you need clusters, but it certainly makes it easier. If you've got 3 or 4 sites in an hour radius, it does make it easier. You don't have to do it, but one of the main reasons is that we're potentially selling Wrexham is because we're buying my dad out as well. And so my dad's like 70 something years old, 71, 72 years old, 71 years old. And he's got 25% of the business. So obviously the business is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so therefore it gets more valuable and valuable. And he wants to sell, I don't think he wants to sell it all, but he wants to sell 10%. And therefore he wants a big chunk. So the way to get a big chunk is to sell one of our assets, but then we can reinvest it. I don't mind selling it because we bought it, we've polished it up a little bit, and then we can sell it on to somebody else who can then add that extra little wow factor because we're leaving something for people to do as well. So yeah, we might potentially sell it, and it'll give my dad a big 6-figure windfall, which would be nice for him, and then be nice for me because I get instead of only 75% of the business, I own like 85 or 90% of the business, whatever we decide to do. So yeah, they're what we're thinking about doing, whether we do it or not, because ultimately Wrexham will be spitting off cash as well, 200 grand a year, which would be nice. But I'd rather give my, sounds stupid, doesn't it? But I'd rather my dad be happy and have a lump sum to spend now when he's able-bodied and he can do stuff with my mum and stuff, like go on cruises and stuff, and buy a different pot. And by the way, my dad's not poor at all. He lives in a £2 million house, but he hasn't got £1 million in the bank just to do with what he wants. And so therefore, rather than paying him over months, it'd be nice for him to have £1 million sat in the bank or whatever. And that'd be nice for him, and then he can go and enjoy it. So that's obviously you'd rather keep it and just cash flow from it, but I'd rather my dad be happy. Anyway, not my dad, not that he's not Jesus, not that he's not happy, but I'd rather give my dad the opportunity to have experience. My dad was brought up on a council estate and he sold his business for 7 figures, which is amazing. I mean, he said, "Oh, Dean, you've done so much better than me." But definitely not. There's no way I could go from nothing to 7 figures, to a 7-figure business, and not. It was years ago, decades ago, and so it's not like it's now. It was decades ago. So it's gone from nothing, from a council estate to 7 figures. I've gone from Don't get me wrong, when we was growing up, we was, we weren't amazingly rich, but then the older I got, the richer we got, and better my dad was doing. But then my dad's success allowed me, he could then invest in me so he's gone from there, and that's at the very, very bottom, by the way. I mean, I don't mean that in a respectful way. And then I've gone like, I'm right up there because my dad's got money. So I've just continued to, I've done well on the back of what he's done. So anyway, crikey, this was unexpected. Right, let's get on to bloody Wrexham. Jesus Christ. Honestly, I think something and I just say it. I just I've got no filter whatsoever. Just I can't not just say what's in my head. Good job there's not crazy shit for going around in there, otherwise I'd just be like saying stupid stuff. Oh my goodness, right. Sometimes I do think, oh, shut up, Dean. Why are you telling people all that? Just cut it, re-record, and I'm thinking, no, do you know it's me? So anyway, right, my first ever acquisition. I think the headline for Wrexham is it's very consistent. I put in capital letters. Right, let's get to the meats and potato. I'm at with quotes 58, 10 reservations, which is a conversion rate of 17%. We've got 7 move-ins, which is 12%. We've had here 40% of cancelled reservations. 4 reservations cancelled. Crazy stuff there. We spent £320 per move-in on pay-per-clicks. Before everyone goes wild and thinking, what? It's my fault. I should have cancelled the pay-per-clicks because it was full. It was 90% full. We've just ordered some more containers. That's why we're not 90% full. You'll see in a minute. However, internally, we're full. And so I should have stopped the Google ads and only concentrated on Google ads for containers, which I didn't. And so it's my fault. That cost us £2,000. Cost us £2,000 that month. And stupid me. But we cancelled it now. Again, like I say, you always make mistakes. I always make mistakes, and I don't want to hide behind mistakes and say I never make them. But to flipping £1,000, I could have just not lost if I'd have done that. So yeah, gutted, absolutely gutted. But it is what it is, and now we've turned off the Google ads. That's why, and I won't care. I actually said it on last month's podcast. I'm going to turn off Google ads. And I never got around to it. And so that was costing like 75 quid a day. What a donut. What an absolute donut. 75 quid, 75 quid, 75 quid, 75 quid. Oh dear. But at least I've done it now. I've cancelled the ad, so the ad spend won't be as much next month for Wrexham. But at least my air miles, Well, at least we're going to be able to buy first class for all these bloody Google ad spends anyway for free, which will be good. We're going to go to Vegas next year for the conference. And I'm going to take Mum, my dad, me. Again, just saying what's in my mind. Stupid idiot. Mum, me, my dad, my 2 kids, first class with air miles because we've got flipping hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands, million air miles, which is nuts. And so we're going to use them. And we're just spending more and more and more when Google ads. So it'll be awesome. Right. Back to the bloody point, Dean. Come on, get your head back in the game. I've recorded for the past hour and a half, so all of a sudden my head's going. It's like the Homer Simpson. Right. Anyway, where was we? Let's get back to it. Right. Google ad spend, like I said, ridiculously high, but we're going to change that from now on. We're only going to advertise to containers. Number of move-ins, we've got 7 move-ins for 795 square foot. Moved out was 850, so 785, sorry, so 135 up. We've got 88 internal rooms occupied. We've got 33 containers occupied. 10,150 square foot is occupied. When we took over, by the way, it was less than 5,000 square foot occupied. So we've increased the amount of occupancy, amount of square foot, which would be good to talk about in the course. The store occupancy is 85%. Last month, you'll remember, was 92% full or 91% full, and we've gained 135 square foot. That's because we've bought more containers. We've got some more containers, and therefore we haven't filled them containers yet because we've got availability, because obviously they've only just come, so we've got availability. So 85% full, but I think little or no internal. Obviously, some days you'll have somebody leave and Interestingly, we only took £17,201 in September for Wrexham, which was poor, really poor. It was £1,900 down, even though it was net square foot up. And I know it's a lagging indicator, but it's still a little bit of a concern. Lagging indicator, by the way, is the revenue, because the revenue depends on what you've done in previous months. It showcases itself in future months. Hopefully you understand that. If you don't, it's my fault. It's not you, it's me, because I didn't explain it very well. Right, quotes were low. Conversions and conversions, quotes to move-ins, and quotes to reservations were low. That's because we ain't got any internal rooms occupied, and majority of the time during September we had no containers available. Cancelled and expired reservations were really high. I wonder why. So hopefully someone will tell me why without me asking. So we'll see. It's a test for the staff. Let's see if I listen to this. Cost to acquire a customer is very, very high, but that's my fault. We only had containers available. I should have turned off ads apart from containers, which I didn't. We've already been through that. Let's not bash in anymore. 1,000 square foot moved in. That's okay, especially given how full we are. 850 square foot moved out. Oh my God, there's a tractor passing right by my house. I'm back onto a farm, and every now and again, a tractor passes by. Like now, I wonder if you can hear it or not. Right, 1,000 square foot moved in. That's okay. 850 square foot moved out. Well, I'm at the corner as well, so you're hearing for a little bit. Sorry. 850. Sorry. That's an 8% churn rate. So that's good. That's under 100% every year. I'm happy with that. I know it's higher than the normal sites, but we've just done a big price increase at Wrexham. Net 150 square foot up for the month or there or thereabouts. Occupancy is very, very high. We're looking at squeezing some internal units to maximize revenue as well, trying to get us that 200K a year profit from something that was breaking even last year when we took over. When we took over, it was actually just losing money, and we've turned it around to making money. Extra, not even just making money, 200 grand. So we've gone, it's hardly anything it was worth to maybe worth £1 million, which would be awesome. Really, really good stuff. And do you know what? That's really exciting for future because it means we can do it. We've actually bought something, changed it, turned it around, put our little, what did somebody say? What was it? Stardust. Sprinkle that little stardust. Somebody said, Dean, you've sprinkled your little stardust on that, haven't you? I was like, oh, I like that. Yeah, I am. And do you know what? I am. Sometimes I do beat myself up about mistakes and tell you the mistakes, but I get wrong there. I don't even like saying it, but I've done a good job here. We've done a good job, yeah. So I've told people what to do. They've implemented it, and so I have done a very, very good job. I was going to say I don't know many people who could do it. Oh no, I ain't got a clue. Maybe loads of people could do it. Maybe could have done better than me. But ultimately, I'm really, really proud of what we've done, and we haven't done anything special. We've just done the small things correct. There's not a lot of moving parts in self-storage, but if you get the big cogs right, you make a lot of money. You do, you really, really do. And so we've changed something from worth nearly nothing to with 10 times what it's worth. I reckon we could, when we finish, we could sell this for $1 million, which would be absolutely brilliant. Selling something for 7 figures, I'd love it. Well, I'd rather keep it if we could cash flow a few £100,000 every year. But needs must, as we've already talked about. Anyway, revenue really disappointing, nearly £2,000 less than the previous month, which we've already said, but it's a very good October. Average insurance was £7,000, which is good. I've scored this 8 out of 10. Solid month, good occupancy, low conversions because of the occupancy, low cost to acquire a customer. What else is low? There's low churn rate, but there's high people cancelled, and I wonder why that is. But yeah, eight. You could argue even a 9. 8 out of 10. Really, really solid month. Solid month. And so it feels like a lifetime ago since we've been talking about Clough Road. Clough Road was poor. So Willoughby, meh. Clough Road, that's exactly what the professionals. Do you know what? If you would go in a professional boardroom, in a corporate boardroom, and you have a month like Clough Road, this is exactly how they explain it. That's it. That's corporate language for not brilliant, a disaster. So there's Clough Road. Wednesday we talked about. What was it? What was Wednesday? Oh yeah, Clough Road was Wednesday. Thursday was Mansfield, which is brilliant. Wrexham, really good. Can't complain at all. I'm good. Do you know what? I'm going to change it for a 9. No, it's a 9. It's a 9. So yeah, really, really good month. I'm happy with Wrexham. And then on Monday we're going to talk about Glasgow. Tuesday it's the weekly revenue on Monday. Tuesday we are going to talk about Glasgow, and then Wednesday we're going to talk about Beverley. And that's it. And Beverly, by the way, is a stonker. Glasgow, I don't know. I can't decide on the score on Glasgow, but we'll get there. Anyway, my friends, I love you. I appreciate you. And thank you very much for listening. Honestly, seriously, if you've made it this far, I thank you so much. I really do appreciate all the listens. I really enjoy doing it. And it means the world to me that you guys listen to me go, ooh. What? What's that all about? And I was going to say something stupid then. I'm going to refrain from saying that. Right, my friends, I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll have a great weekend. And I'll speak to you guys on Monday morning. See you soon. Bye.